In this video, I'm going to attempt to take you through all forms and tell you why and maybe even when you would use each of them. For this video, I want you to grab yourself a pen and a piece of paper because there's going to be a ton of notes. I've got a lot of points to cover, so it's important that you get them all down. So I've been in marketing for 26 years, a long time some might say, but I've been fortunate enough to use all four forms of marketing, and they are direct, digital, brand, and relationships. Form number one is direct, and this consists of the following. First of all, mailers. This is just you simply sending out in the post a multiple page document of information. The next is telemarketing. It does what it says on the tin. You picking the phone up and ringing people, letting them know that you exist. There is, of course, traditional forms of advertising. There are a few newspapers and magazines out there, and it doesn't really hurt if you have a specific niche to start advertising in those newspapers. One that we are very, very fond of, and that is a simple text message service. We advertise, I would say, a large part of our social hub to our 600 and some odd customers via a simple text message. This next one is that we KPI our gurus for, and that is referrals. Asking for referral is probably the simplest and easiest way of getting a customer. And for us, which is a little bit more direct, is a discovery day or a workshop or a webinar. We actually take the information to the people so that they can have a thorough understanding as to what it is that we do and how we can help them. So my next type is something that is a little bit more native to us, and that is digital. In the first instance, when we think of digital, we think content marketing. And this is where you're broadcasting content, what we call social proof, on a regular and consistent basis, putting forth your true value proposition so that people scrolling the timeline and news feeds know exactly how much value you are to them rather than they are to you. Next is video. A very, very important part of our digital strategy, okay? We put out a lot of video content. I find it probably easier at times, although David would probably otherwise, or tell you otherwise. We find it a lot easier to create video because it's a little bit more direct. However, it is a very strong medium, and it is often said, if a picture can speak 1,000 words, imagine what a video can do for your business. Simple but still very effective is email. Now, we put out multiple emails on a weekly basis, communicating with A, our incumbent customer base, B, past customers, or C, those prospects that we generate across the way so that they don't forget about us, and we create simple nurture campaigns reminding people that we exist. Next on the list is website and SEO. Now, the website, I feel, is a very important conversion mechanism. It's where you house all the information that tells people in detail what you do. Now, SEO stands for search engine optimization, and you can optimize your website for specific keywords so that when people type in a search term or a keyword, your website, in theory, if you're regular with it, should slowly but surely creep on to the first page of Google. My next type is Google Ads, okay, or otherwise known as PPC, pay per click. A very, very simple ad platform, a very simple ad mechanism as well, where you're actually, instead of doing the search engine optimization, you're actually paying for those keywords so that you appear in the top 5 in the ad set so you can be discovered quicker and sooner. Probably my favorite of the ad spend out there right now is social ads. Now, we are very strong believers in building a true value proposition, and I think that social ads are better value for money because people discover something about you a little bit more, and the way in which you can track the journey of this particular advert is very, very clever indeed. So you can send them on a true nurture campaign and start adding real value to the money that you actually spend. And finally, we are using something like Trustpilot or Google Reviews because people do their own research right now. So they want to know that they can trust you first of all. We do have all these other social media platforms that people can nose on. We have blog articles that people can check out, but nothing beats a review. As soon as people start seeing 5-star rated, it gives them a sense of comfort. Therefore, they make a better buying decision moving forward. The next type is brand. And for me, brand is vitally important. In fact, my whole 26 years of marketing experience has been, I would say, spurred on by my passion for brand and companies that sort of care more about brand than they care about anything else. For me, it starts off with a logo backed up by a simple strapline, okay? So your logo is the element that people remember and recognize. So ensuring that your logo is well considered, thought out, and your strapline actually matches your mission, then for me, the two actually go really, really well together, and you'll start to become recognized for what it is you do. Another part of that brand is your website. You know, again, like I said to you before, as far as digital marketing is concerned, it is a key converter, but so too is for building brand. It's important that you put your brand values, your mission statements on there. It's very, very important that you identify a simple tone of voice so that people get exactly what it is and who it is that you have and are and offer. And the final type is relationships. It's something that people genuinely forget, okay? For me, relationship and building a partnership with a client, first of all, is really, really important. It's what keeps our churn rate down and our retention rate up. So if you care about your customers and you service them well, for me, I genuinely think that the argument is never going to be based on price. It's all about a perceived value. You serve your customers well, your perceived value will rise, and no more will you bicker over price. Referrals. If you do the first thing that I've just mentioned, it becomes a lot easier for those referrals. So as we KPI our very own Elliot here as a guru, he then makes it very, very easy to get referrals, and we can simply KPI him against getting some. Strategic partnerships, again, is a very important part of how Be More Social has grown. We have forged some very, very strategic partners with the likes of the NatWest, the Federation of Small Businesses, and of course, the various chambers of commerces up and down the country and more, okay? Now, relationships, those specific relationships have been absolutely key and vital to the growth of Be More Social throughout COVID. We grew 610%, and in large, it's because we looked after those relationships. We're even considering this now, and that is birthday cards. We are very, very slowly, but most definitely surely, going through the entire customer base that we have and finding out some key fundamentals, and that is their home address and their date of birth. So that even if we don't have their home address, we can send them a simple text message saying, "We wish you the very best. Happy birthday." Again, that's an amazing, nice little touch to be able to forge a very close bond with a customer. Another great way of forging relationships is networking. Not one of my most favored choices, if I'm honest with you, probably because I don't like people or I find it very difficult to engage and start a conversation. However, it doesn't mean to say that you don't nor can't. I find it a lot easier on LinkedIn to generate a relationship and then have a telephone conversation afterwards. However, we do have some guys here that are absolute network experts and do an amazing job of forging relationships, engaging with people, nurturing somebody and building trust. And finally, of course, you've got your social media platforms. As I've alluded to talking about networking, I prefer to nurture and build those relationships through a platform like LinkedIn. LinkedIn allows me to strategically reach out to the people that I want to do business with. And again, strategically allows me to nurture that relationship by engaging and commenting, liking and sharing those people that I want to work with on a regular basis.